Hi everybody, welcome to another YDFLive show. My name is Stephen Aitchison, creator of YourDigitalFormula.com, a program to help you become the influencer that you are. And this is going to be a good one. It's from a video from one of my favourite kind of business people, online and offline as well. Today is video day. I was meant to do the kind of video day yesterday, but I had other things on my mind yesterday. But all is well now. So I'm going to share the video that I wanted to share with you yesterday. And it's a video from Seth Godin, who I think is just a genius, to be honest. And I've admired him for years now, to be honest. So we're going to share a video from Seth Godin today, and that's from a TED.com talk. As well, it's all about how to make your ideas spread. I think it's a good one. It's a kind of looking at things from a macro point of view. But if we kind of think about it and look at it from a micro point of view, it kind of works as well. But I'll share it with you and let you kind of judge for yourself exactly what it's like. Okay, so we're just still having a few issues here, and I'm having a few issues. Now, we're up and running okay, so that's the main thing that matters. It's saying we're off just now, but we're not off. We're working. I can see myself there, and I can see you in the house as well. We've got Elle Summer just joined us as well. Welcome, Elle. Good to have you here. Rebecca Malin has joined us. Lakshi has joined us as well, which is cool. There's a lot of people in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the video just now, then we'll be kind of chat afterwards. So 1 second.
Examples that I'm going to cover at the end about how a product called Silk tripled their sales by doing one thing, how an artist named Jeff Koons went from being a nobody to making a whole bunch of money and having a lot of impact, to how Frank Gehry redefined what it meant to be an architect, and one of my biggest failures as a marketer in the last few years, a record label I started that had a CD called Sauce. But before I can do that, I got to tell you about sliced bread and a guy named Otto Rohwedder. Now, before sliced bread was invented in the 1910s, I wonder what they said, like the greatest invention since the telegraph or something. But this guy named Otto Rohwedder invented sliced bread. And he focused, like most inventors did, on the patent part and the making part. And the thing about the invention of sliced bread is this, that for the first 15 years after sliced bread was available, no one bought it, no one knew about it. It was a complete and total failure. And the reason is that until Wonder came along and figured out how to spread the idea of sliced bread, no one wanted it. That the success of sliced bread, like the success of almost everything we've been talking about at this conference, is not always about what the patent is like or what the factory is like. It's about, can you get your idea to spread or not? And I think that the way you're going to get what you want or cause the change that you want to change to happen is you're going to figure out a way to get your ideas to spread. And it doesn't matter to me whether you're running a coffee shop or you're an intellectual or you're in business or flying hot air balloons. I think that all this stuff applies to everybody regardless of what we do. That what we are living in is a century of idea diffusion. That people who can spread ideas, regardless of what those ideas are, win. And when I talk about it, I usually pick business because they make the best pictures that you can put in your presentation, and because it's the easiest sort of way to keep score. But I want you to forgive me when I use these examples because I'm talking about anything that you decide to spend your time to do. At the heart of spreading ideas is TV and stuff like TV. TV and mass media made it really easy to spread ideas in a certain way. I call it the TV industrial complex. And the way the TV industrial complex works is you buy some ads, interrupt some people, that gets you distribution. You use the distribution you get to sell more products. You take the profit from that to buy more ads. And it goes around and around and around, the same way the military industrial complex worked a long time ago. That model of, and we heard it yesterday, if we could only get on the homepage of Google, if we could only figure out how to get promoted there, if we could only figure out how to grab that person by the throat and tell them about what we want to do, if we could do that, then everyone would pay attention, we would win. Well, this TV industrial complex informed my entire childhood and probably yours. I mean, all of these products succeeded because someone figured out how to touch people in a way that they weren't expecting, in a way they didn't necessarily want, with an ad over and over and over again until they bought it. And the thing that's happened is they canceled the TV industrial complex. That just over the last few years, what anybody who markets anything has discovered is it's not working the way that it used to. This picture is really fuzzy. I apologize. I had a bad cold when I took it. But the product in the blue box in the center is my poster child. Right? I go to the deli. I'm sick. I need to buy some medicine. The brand manager for that blue product spent $100 million trying to interrupt me in 1 year. $100 million interrupting me with TV commercials and magazine ads and spam and coupons and shelving allowances and spiffs. Also, I could ignore every single message. And I ignored every message because I don't have a pain reliever problem. I buy the stuff in the yellow box I always have. And I'm not going to invest a minute of my time to solve her problem because I don't care. Here's a magazine called Hydrate. It's 180 pages about water. Right? Articles about water, ads about water. Imagine what the world was like 40 years ago when it was the Saturday Evening Post and Time and Newsweek. Now there are magazines about water. New product from Coke Japan, water salad. Okay? Coke Japan comes out with a new product every 3 weeks because they have no idea what's going to work and what's not. This, I couldn't have written this better myself. It came out 4 days ago. I've circled the important parts so you can see them here. They've come out, Arby's is going to spend $85 million promoting an oven mitt with the voice of Tom Arnold, hoping that that will get people to go to Arby's and buy a roast beef sandwich. Now, I want you to try to imagine what could possibly be in an animated TV commercial featuring Tom Arnold that would get you to get in your car, drive across town, and buy a roast beef sandwich. You know, this is Copernicus, and he was right when he's talking to anyone who needs to hear your idea. The world revolves around me. Me, my favorite person, me. I don't want to get email from anybody. I want to get me-mail. So consumers, and I don't just mean people who buy stuff at the Safeway. I mean people at the Defense Department who might buy something, or people at, the New Yorker who might print your article. Consumers don't care about you at all. They just don't care. Part of the reason is they got way more choices than they used to and way less time. And in a world where we have too many choices and too little time, the obvious thing to do is just ignore stuff. And my parable here is you're driving down the road and you see a cow and you keep driving. Because you've seen cows before. Cows are invisible. Cows are boring. Who's going to stop and pull over and say, oh, look, a cow? Nobody. But if the cow was purple, isn't that a great special effect? I could do that again if you wanted. If the cow was purple, you'd notice it for a while. I mean, if all cows are purple, then you get bored with those too. The thing that's going to decide what gets talked about, what gets done, what gets changed, what gets purchased, what gets built is it remarkable? And remarkable is a really cool word because we think it just means neat. But it also means worth making a remark about. And that is the essence of where idea diffusion is going. That two of the hottest cars in the United States is a $55,000 giant car, big enough to hold a Mini in its trunk. People are paying full price for both, and the only thing they have in common is that they don't have anything in common. Every week, the #1 best-selling DVD in America changes. It's never The Godfather, it's never Citizen Kane, it's always some third-rate movie with some second-rate star. But the reason it's #1 is because that's the week it came out. Because it's new, because it's fresh, because people saw it and said, I didn't know that was there, and they noticed it. Two of the big success stories the last 20 years in retail. One sells things that are super expensive in a blue box, and one sells things that are as cheap as they can make them. The only thing they have in common is that they're different. We're now in the fashion business. No matter what we do for a living, we're in the fashion business. And the thing is, people in the fashion business know what it's like to be in the fashion business. They're used to it. The rest of us have to figure out how to think that way. How to understand that it's not about interrupting people with big full-page ads or insisting on meetings with people. But it's a totally different sort of process that determines which ideas spread and which ones don't. This chair, they sold $1 billion worth of Aeron chairs. by reinventing what it meant to sell a chair. They turned a chair from something the purchasing department bought to something that was a status symbol about where you sat at work. This guy, Lionel Poulain, the most famous baker in the world, he died 2.5 months ago, and he was a hero of mine and a dear friend. He lived in Paris. Last year he sold $10 million worth of French bread, every loaf baked in a bakery he owned by one baker at a time in a wood-fired oven. And when Lionel started his bakery, the French poo-pooed it. They didn't want to buy his bread. It didn't look like French bread. It wasn't what they expected. It was neat, it was remarkable, and slowly it spread from one person to another person until finally it became the official bread of 3-star restaurants in Paris. Now he's in London and he ships by FedEx all around the world. What marketers used to do is make average products for average people. That's what mass marketing is. Smooth out the edges. Go for the center. That's the big market. They would ignore the geeks and, God forbid, the laggards. It was all about going for the center. But in a world where the TV industrial complex is broken, I don't think that's the strategy we want to use anymore. I think the strategy we want to use is to not market to these people because they're really good at ignoring you, but market to these people because they care. These are the people who are obsessed with something. And when you talk to them, they'll listen because they like listening. It's about them. And if you're lucky, they'll tell their friends on the rest of the curve, and it'll spread. It'll spread through the entire curve. They have something I call otaku. It's a great Japanese word. It describes the desire of someone who's obsessed to, say, drive across Tokyo to try a new ramen noodle place, because that's what they do. They get obsessed with it. To make a product, to market an idea, to come up with any problem you want to solve that doesn't have a constituency within otaku is almost impossible. Instead, you have to find a group that really desperately cares about what it is you have to say. Talk to them and make it easy for them to tell your friends. There's a hot sauce otaku, but there's no mustard otaku. That's why there's lots and lots and lots of kinds of hot sauces and not so many kinds of mustard. Not because it's hard to make interesting mustard. You can make interesting mustard. But people don't because no one's obsessed with it, and thus no one tells their friends. Krispy Kreme has figured this whole thing out. Krispy Kreme has a strategy. And what they do is they enter a city, they talk to the people with the otaku, and then they spread through the city to the people who have just crossed the street. This yo-yo right here costs $112, but it sleeps for 12 minutes. Not everybody wants it, but they don't care. They want to talk to the people who do, and maybe it'll spread. These guys make the loudest car stereo in the world. It's as loud as a 747 jet. You can't get in. The car's got bulletproof glass on the windows because they'll blow out the windshield otherwise. But the fact remains that when someone wants to put a couple speakers in their car, if they've got the otaku or they've heard from someone who does, they go ahead and they pick this. It's really simple. You sell to people who are listening, and maybe, just maybe, those people tell their friends. So when Steve Jobs talks to 50,000 people at his keynote, right, who are all tuned in from 130 countries watching his 2-hour commercial, that's the only thing keeping his company in business, is that those 50,000 people care desperately enough to watch a 2-hour commercial and then tell their friends. Pearl Jam, 96 albums released in the last 2 years. Everyone made a profit. How? They only sell them on their website. Those people who buy them on their website have the otaku, and then they tell their friends, and it spreads, and it spreads. This hospital crib costs $10,000, 10 times the standard. But hospitals are buying it faster than any other model. Hard candy nail polish doesn't appeal to everybody, but to the people who love it, they talk about it like crazy. This paint can right here saved the Dutch Boy Paint Company, making them a fortune. Cost 35% more than regular paint because Dutch Boy made a can that people talk about because it's remarkable. They didn't just slap a new ad on the product, they changed what it meant to build a paint product. AmIHotOrNot.com. Every day, 250,000 people go to this site, run by 2 volunteers, and I can tell you they're hard graders. And they didn't get this way by advertising a lot. They got this way by being remarkable, sometimes a little too remarkable. And this picture frame has a cord going out the back, and you plug it into the wall. My father has this on his desk, and he sees his grandchildren every day, changing constantly. And every single person who walks into his office hears the whole story of how this thing ended up on his desk. And one person at a time, the idea spreads. These are not diamonds. Not really. They're made from cremains. After you get cremated, you can have yourself made into a gem. Oh, you like my ring? It's my grandmother. Fastest growing business in the whole mortuary industry. But you don't have to be Ozzy Osbourne. You don't have to be super outrageous to do this. What you have to do is figure out what people really want and give it to them. A couple quick rules to wrap up. The first one is design is free when you get to scale. And the people who come up with stuff that's remarkable, more often than not, figure out how to put design to work for them. Number two, the riskiest thing you can do now is be safe. Procter & Gamble knows this. Right? The whole model of being Procter & Gamble was always about average products for average people. That's risky. The safe thing to do now is to be at the fringes, be remarkable. And being very good is one of the worst things you can possibly do. Very good is boring. Very good is average. It doesn't matter whether you're making a record album or you're an architect or you have a tract on sociology. If it's very good, it's not going to work because no one's going to notice it. So, my 3 stories. Silk. Put a product that does not need to be in the refrigerated section next to the milk in the refrigerated section. Sales tripled. Why? Milk, 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 not milk. Right? For the people who were there and looking at that section, it was remarkable. They didn't triple their sales with advertising. They tripled it by doing something remarkable. That is a remarkable piece of art. You don't have to like it, but a 40-foot tall dog made out of bushes in the middle of New York City is remarkable. Frank Gehry didn't just change a museum, he changed an entire city's economy by designing one building that people from all over the world went to see. Now, at countless meetings, at the Portland City Council or who knows where, they say, we need an architect. Can we get Frank Gehry? Right? Because he did something that was at the fringes. And my big failure, I came out with an entire... a record album, and hopefully a whole bunch of record albums in SACD format, this remarkable new format, and I marketed it straight to people with $20,000 stereos. People with $20,000 stereos don't like new music. So what you need to do is figure out who does care. Who is going to raise their hand and say, I want to hear what you're doing next, and sell something to them. The last example I want to give you, this is a map of Soap Lake, Washington. As you can see, if that's nowhere, it's in the middle of it. But they do have a lake. And people used to come from miles around to swim in the lake. They don't anymore. So the founding fathers at Soap Lake said, we got some money to spend. What could we build here? And like most committees, they were going to build something pretty safe. And then an artist came to them. This is a true artist rendering. He wants to build a 55-foot tall lava lamp in the center of town. That's a purple cow. That's something worth noticing. I don't know about you, but if they build it, that's where I'm going to go. Thank you very much for your attention. I appreciate it.
Hi everybody, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope you took a lot of the video, or what was the content of the video, I hope you took a lot of that and kind of assimilated it. I don't know if the right word, I don't know where that word came from, but assimilated it to today, because social media can do exactly what Seth Godin is talking about there just now, and that's spreading ideas. Now, the other thing he was talking about there, he talked about the kind of TV generation and kind of the business of TV as well. Kind of social media has taken over TV now. We're in a totally different era now. So the spreading of ideas is much more quicker and is much more kind of far reaching than TV could ever be. So if you have a TV ad over here, or if you had a TV ad back in kind of the 90s or something, people would talk about it, people might buy the product, etc. from it, but it doesn't go all over the world unless that company is spending millions and millions of dollars. And social media is totally different. With your one idea, with your one product idea, with your one service that you've got as well, that could be spread literally around the world in a matter of minutes if it really kind of stands out to people as well. Now, what makes you remarkable is the kind of big question here. What is remarkable about your product? What is remarkable about your service? What is remarkable about what you're offering just now? what's remarkable about your page, your Facebook page. The remarkable thing about you and everything else, and your products, your service, and everything that you're offering, the remarkable thing is you. You are your own unique selling point, because your personality will give the product more credence if you do it right. So marketing is a skill, but your personality is important as well. The way you come across on your live shows, the way you come across on your Facebook page, the way you come across in your videos, whatever message it is, even if you're not in front of the camera, it doesn't matter. It's how you come across and how you make people feel at the same time as well. That's why Facebook pages are so important. Like a lot of people kind of, especially in business, say, oh, these image quotes or these videos that make people feel good or are supposed to make people feel good. It's just they don't understand why you do it. But the whole purpose of writing beautiful image quotes, having a beautiful image and doing the image quotes and kind of building up your page that way, is because of the way it makes people feel inside. If you can get an emotion extracted from somebody, from one of your image quotes, from one of your videos, from one of your Facebook live shows, whatever kind of way you're kind of distributing your information, that's what's important. And if you can do it with your own personality at the same time, i.e. if you write your own quotes, for example, if you write your own quotes and put them to video, if you kind of do your own videos and it's you're the talking head or you're the voice behind it, that's what makes it remarkable. And that's what makes it unique. Mm-hmm. And people are either going to like it or they're not going to like it, but the people that do like it are going to spread that more around the world. They're going to spread it on Facebook, they're going to spread it on social media, on Twitter, YouTube, and everywhere else. So that's what makes you remarkable as well. Not everybody is going to be remarkable. You've still got to have that enthusiasm, that passion, that drive, that energy as well when you're on video, for example. But if you're just doing image quotes, you can be a brilliant writer. And everybody can be a brilliant writer. When you're writing your own quotes, for example, for your Facebook page, everybody can be a brilliant writer. You've just got to be kind of inspired by other people. You've got to be inspired to help other people. And you've got to have that passion to help other people as well. So if you think about it, being a great writer of quotes, you don't need to be a brilliant author. You don't have to write a whole book. You could sit for one full day and write an amazing quote that's going to really stick in people's minds. And that could spread like wildfire around social media, on Facebook. So if you've done that one day, if you wrote one quote per day, every day for a year, you've got 365 quotes that spread like wildfire. Instead of using everybody else's quotes, you write your own quotes. You are a writer. And if you think about it, when you're writing quotes, for example, for your Facebook page, it's only one line you're writing, but make it a bloody good line when you're doing it as well. And that's why my page has got 3.6 million kind of followers, because I've written kind of unique quotes, and I use other people's quotes as well, and can share other people's image quotes as well. But if you want to stand out, if you don't want to go do a live show, for example, and you want to stand out, write your own quotes, write your own videos, create your own videos, and it's your voice or it's your kind of words on that video as well. That is what's going to make you remarkable. That's what's going to make you stand out on social media. Because what's going to happen if you write your own quotes and they say, okay, this is from Maria Flynn, and they see a couple of quotes from Maria Flynn and say, who the hell is this Maria Flynn, for example, or Laurie Emmett, or Kathy Baker, or Steve Waller, whoever it is. I'm just taking people from the YDF tribe just now, or Elle Summer. They're going to ask who the hell is this Elle Summer or Maria Flynn, and they're going to Google it. And then you're going to find your website, then you're going to find your Facebook page, you're going to find your Twitter, your YouTube, everything else. That's why it's important to stand out. That's why it's important to write and be unique with your Facebook page as well. So although that kind of video from Seth Godin was from years ago, it's from 2003, that's 14 years ago, the message, the underlying message in it still stands. Be remarkable. And if all you want to do is build up your Facebook page, be remarkable by writing your own quotes, be remarkable by doing your own videos and putting words behind it, or be remarkable by doing a live show. Doing a live show, why is that remarkable? because hardly anybody's doing it. There's not that many people doing live shows just now, and there's not that many people doing live shows every weekday or every day. People do kind of pop-ups, but you could be remarkable just by doing a live show every day. So it's just something to think about. So I just thought I'd kind of share that with you as well. And I'm just going to go to some comments just now. And talking about being remarkable as well, one thing that I've found about kind of what makes, well, I'm starting to find out about what makes things kind of remarkable is a lot of people do kind of live trainings as well. Like this is kind of live training. So to speak, in a way, it's kind of live training. You could stand out by doing live training as well. And I'm going to share with you kind of a link for the latest live training we've got coming up on Thursday at 2 p.m. That is something that could make you remarkable as well. Now I'm putting that up there because I'm going to be talking at Arizona, at YDF Arizona. I'm going to be talking about kind of doing webinars and why they're so important for you and for your business as well. And I honestly think with the things coming out with webinars, with the likes of kind of messenger bot as well, things are really changing and we're kind of on the cutting edge of it. And that's why I try and bring you kind of every day the cutting edge of things that are happening on Facebook, that are happening with kind of business practice as well. And I'd love for you to kind of try that. I'd love for you to come to YDF Arizona as well. That would be fantastic if you could kind of join us in YDF Arizona. But the live training we've got coming up on Thursday as well, if you could join us there, that would be fantastic. Now I'm going to go to a few comments just now. Maria Flynn, images and video is the first introduction and not overbearing. It's emotional, beautiful and loving energy. Yes, energy. And that is felt on Facebook. Have you ever seen a quote? That's a brilliant point, Maria. Have you ever seen a quote online you've gone, yeah, that's so true, and it's just giving you a wee aha moment? One line, one quote gives you a wee aha moment in your life and you just kind of, a light bulb kind of switches on. You go, oh, that's so true. That's amazing. Or you watch a video and it kind of brings out that emotion. You start to kind of tear up or something, or it brings out some kind of emotion, happy emotion or tearful or sad for somebody else, and it brings up that emotion. That's what you want for your Facebook page as well. You want to touch people's emotions with everything, every piece of content that you're doing on your Facebook page. And that's what you want. Tina Farrar is in the house as well. Welcome to the live show, Tina. It's good to have you here. Hi, Stephen. Miss your lives. Oh, it's excellent that you could make it. I'm really glad you could make it. Cheryl Worthley, Nichols, great TED Talk. It is a brilliant TED Talk. I know it's 14 years old, but it's just the underlying message of it is really good as well. Laurie Emmett, excellent, loved that, brilliant. Elle Summer, loved it, excellent. I was hoping people would get it, kind of get the underlying message of it as well, not just take it at face value, but I was hoping people would get the kind of underlying message, and it seems that you have as well, which is brilliant. Maria Flynn, safe gets you nowhere unless you want to stay where you are. That is exactly. You have to kind of think outside the box. You have to kind of do things a wee bit differently. You have to try new things as well. And a lot of people here are still not struggling, but a lot of people here are still kind of thinking about doing their own product or putting their own service out there, like coaching or something like that. And nothing is going to change unless you put it out there. Be brave, be strong, believe in yourself enough, and get it out there just now. Minimal viable product. It doesn't have to be perfect. Get it out there just now, as quick as possible, and then change it. Just be brave and be strong and go for it. That's what I would say to you. Tina Farrar saying thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Tina. Abigail Hurt, yes, thank you. This was great info and advice. Loved it. Brilliant, brilliant. Maria Flynn, I can't wait for Arizona. Every time we've met with the community, it's been amazing and a game changer for me and my business. Yeah, for me as well. It's just, I'm really looking forward to YDF Arizona. I'll put the link up for that as well, because a lot of people have been asking about it in the messages actually. So I'm going to do that just now as well. Yeah, Arizona's coming up, and obviously we're going to be talking about that a lot because it's coming up soon. October the 17th, so we've only got about 6 weeks before Arizona, YDF Arizona is here as well. So it's going to be fantastic, and we've got a special kind of announcement coming out about YDF Arizona as well. Just see if there's any more questions or kind of comments before we go. Nope, nothing just now. I don't think, unless the comments have stuck. I don't think there is. No, there's not just now. Okay, I'm going to leave it there just now. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you kind of think about it as well, because of the underlying message, and think about what we kind of spoke about on the Facebook page as well, and think about writing your, if you do have a Facebook page and you're doing image quotes, think about writing your own quotes, and really think about the quotes that you're writing, and think about when you're writing quotes as well, does it give you a wee aha moment? Even if you spend a full day writing one quote, even if you spend 2 days trying to get one quote right, it's going to be worth it, because what's going to happen is your brain's going to get into gear and you'll be able to write more quotes at a much quicker pace, and then you start walking around with a notebook because you think of these quotes as well. So you become a writer of quotes. You don't need to write a full novel. It's not going to take you 10 years to write a full novel or anything. We're talking about one line, and one line that could give somebody an aha moment, and that's powerful. So for all these people that debunk the Facebook pages that have got image quotes, they're helping thousands, millions of people around the world, because they're giving these little light bulb moments to millions of people around the world. That's how important they are, and that's how important your Facebook page is as well. If you're thinking, is it worth it? It is, totally. And I replied to a comment from somebody this morning saying, I'm thinking about stuff on my Facebook page, I'm not really getting anywhere, is it worth it? And I kind of wrote back to her and said it totally is worth it. Even if you change one person's life by giving them one aha moment, that can change so many lives around the world. That's why it's worth it. That's why you're worth it. And that's why it's worth keeping going as well. Okay, with that, I'm going to leave you just now. I hope you have a brilliant day, whatever you're doing. And until tomorrow, namaste. Take care. Bye now.